I have been in charge of tours at the Subaru plant since 2015, and in 2017 I had an opportunity to sit down with our head of HR and discuss a tour program that I wanted to implement for schools to have hands-on STEM related activities, but also promoting manufacturing and SIA careers at the same time. And at that time, Sasha was the assistant HR manager. So she helped me with some of the activities that we had to develop. If we had 100 fifth graders, I needed, a few more stations than if we only had 50. So she helped develop and actually ran some stations for me while we started doing these first tours in 2017. And then 2018, she had left and came to Purdue IN-MaC, and she called my manager and group leader. They said, we got a phone call from Sasha, and she wants to make this an actual program, but we're going to get a dedicated space. She's going to provide the equipment, and she wants you to really use the equipment, teach the students how to code robots, and there was all these things. 5-year plan, do surveys, and you'll be the benchmark for this program in this space. And I said, okay, and then had a little freak out moment because I was going to have to learn how to code a robot and then teach kids how to code a robot. And I get paid to talk to people and uniform everyone at our plant. So it was a little crazy at first, but it was exciting. Greg Strimmel, got to meet him, and I got my first intern, one of his students, Jackson Otto. He came out and was my intern that whole summer and really helped us get our space ready and know how to use the equipment. We did a week-long training with STEM Education Works at Ivy Tech on just how to use the DoBot and the 3D printers. And so he was kind of my go-to. And any problems, questions, anything that I had at that time, Sasha, because she worked at Subaru, I have her cell phone number. So I'd text her and hey, what do I do with this? Or I'm having an issue with this, or the tables that we ordered don't fit the equipment that we have. What do we do? And so we spent a lot of time that first year just on the phone talking to each other. And we opened that space in October of 2018. So we have been in cahoots for the lab, or Design and Innovation Studio. We're the very first in industry, so we named ours the Learning and Discovery Lab, and then she changed the name of all the other ones after that. But so we've been involved with Sasha since 2017, but officially in our space with her since 2018. Our studio is located on the catwalk of our production floor. So because of that, only 10 years and older are allowed. So 5th grade through seniors is what comes into our space. And when we first opened in 2018, it was huge because we were really the only space like that. And the very first tour we ever did in that space was 100 5th graders at one time. And we will never do that many again at one time. We learned a lot of lessons that day. But the first year we had the lab open, just from October to December, was 1,800 students, 5th through 12th grade that we had come through. And then in 2019, it was 1,500 because we started to get more on a normal cadence of when schools were coming in. 2020 was, I think, 200 students because it was just January through March, and then we shut down for COVID. 2022, we opened October, and that was, I think we only had 2 classes come in 2022, so it was 64 students maybe. But 23 and 24, they've been about 1,500 students. So we have every Tuesday, Thursday dedicated to have students come in the lab and do our stations and go through we call it the C tour, the Subaru Educational Experience tour. In our space, I'm not an educator, and the people that I have running the stations, they're also not educators. So we do very basic activities. We're more worried about the manufacturing concepts. So we do our Lego assembly line, and we talk about OSHA and ergonomics, and we're doing that as they do that station, and then when they leave our space and they go do a catwalk tour, they're seeing all these things that we talked about. We're pointing out and showing them as they go through. But for the robots, most of the schools that come to our tour, they don't have these spaces in their schools yet. And a lot of them are really rural schools. And we have schools that come from out of state too. So they're traveling from out of state because they don't have anything like that yet. And they don't know anything about Blockly. So we actually do teach and playback on our Dobots, and we just show them, this is how you move it. We do like a 5-minute intro. This is, don't just grab it and move it, you're gonna break it. But this is how you operate it. And this is what we want you to do to start out with. But then once they do that, the kids start doing all kinds of just crazy things. Like one kid picked up an expo marker and used it as a wrecking ball to knock over a tower. And they just get really creative with it. And then sometimes our Dobots don't listen or follow the code. And we can't figure out why. And then the student jumps on and figures it out like real time right there. And the teachers will come over and say they don't even like participate in class. And we can't get them to stop talking in this room. So it's really cool to talk to the teachers, and especially, with us, we have the same teachers usually come every year. And so they'll come tell us like, hey, this student over here, we have some problems in class with them participating. They don't want to participate. And then 10 minutes into them being in the lab, they're like leading the robot station, or they're leading the IndyCar station and the activity that we're having them do. So there is definitely a light bulb moment for those kids in that room, and it's super fast because they're only in there for like 2 hours with us. So yeah, it's really cool to see. And then we hear from teachers sometimes when they leave, they'll email us and be like, okay, they have not stopped talking about this, and it's been a month since we've been there. So yeah, it's really cool to hear. Someone is attending the summit with me today who is in the associate development side of HR. So she spent some time on the manufacturing floor running our fundamental skills training for our trim shop. And trim shop is our largest department on the production floor. And that's where we need the most people because it's the fastest pace, it's the most physical, and it's the assembly process out there. So she developed our fundamental skills training program that we have in trim, and then she came up into HR about 2 years ago. And so actually today we're talking about like Toyota's 4T program that they have. How can we implement that at Subaru? Because just our company has been around 36 years now, and so we have a lot of associates that have been there from the doors opening that are retiring. So we're losing all of that talent and all of that knowledge. And then even just, robotics, we're becoming more and more automated every year. And we need robot techs that can code those robots. But our robot techs are using that position as like a stepping stone to get into our maintenance positions. And so we have like this whole talent pool that we're in need of. And how do we utilize our space and our school program that we have to attract that talent at a young age and get them ready to graduate high school and come into the workforce. And then because we have Purdue Polytechnic Institute and the other programs, they don't have to go to college necessarily right when they graduate. They can work and go to school, and we can get them set up on a career pathway.